I was raised in a very big extended family where not once in my life do I have a recollection of ever just being me, my siblings, and my family. Now, in the last decade, we've had an addition to our family, an addition of 5 nieces and about 2 nephews now. And I have had the opportunity to learn and grow with them. Of which, if you're here and you're a parent, or you have had an opportunity to live and learn and unlearn with kids and grow with kids like I did, you'll agree with me that sometimes kids can be ridiculous. I mean, you just can't go into your home in peace. Let's say you're going home with some visitors and you just have to walk 5 steps ahead just to make sure that everything is where it should be before the visitors come in. I left my room open. Is everything in my room where it should be? Are there shoes in the sitting room? Or don't even get me started with walking down the streets with a kid. Let's say between age 1 and 5. Absolutely everything on the road, everything in front of them is good for them. They'll pick it, they'll carry, they'll eat it. And there they go. And your job is just to tell them, why are you touching that? Why are you holding that? And it's quite interesting because they're exploring. And now in our lives as human beings, as we walk and grow into our lives, we also find stuff and pick and eat. Some will destroy. Like I did in my life, I picked stuff as I was growing up. I carried it in my life. And all these things started reflecting in my mental health, my emotional well-being. And it was all there. It was all there like a reflection in a mirror of anxiety, low self-esteem, being uncertain, not having purpose, not being driven. And I started picking up stuff from my family. In this big extended family that I was raised, I started picking up stuff at a very young age. Being the last born, I had the opportunity to see most of my relatives go to boarding school and come back. And my genes are very appreciative. Everything I take in, it gives back. I mean, so it would always reflect on my body. So every single time my relatives would come, I would hear things like, oh my God, you've added so much weight. You look like a house. No, should we live in you or should we live in the house? I've had situations where I'll be walking around the house with a bottle of soda and be like, why are you drinking that soda? Can't you see you're already fat enough? Or this one time, I remember very clearly, I was told, if you keep on being this fat, you may never be married. You may never get married. I'm not married yet, so if you have some brothers there, we can talk later. Now, I carried that. At that point, as a 7-year-old and 8-year-old, I believed that was my truth, that there was something wrong with how I looked. And I remember being told I should be someone's project so that I should look the way they think I should. And I carried that, picked that up, took all the way to primary school. As kids joke around, and sometimes the joke hits home. This one joke hit home. I remember we used to fool around. You know how you tell your friends your eyes are like Sijuat, your mouth is like what? This one time, it got back to me and I was told, you're too black. You're too dark, man. And I think your food must be charcoal and your body cream must be kiwi. If you're not familiar with what kiwi is black shoe polish. Now, imagine a 7-year-old, 8-year-old who has already been told there's something wrong with how they look. They should eat this way, they should look this way, or they won't be this. And now I go to school and my peers are saying that too, that there's absolutely something wrong with you. And now it's your skin. To add on to what I had already picked up, I carried that all the way to high school. Now, most people say their high school years were really nice. Me? Not very much. My first year in high school, we learned puberty in primary school, kidogo. I got to high school. My body deceived me. It decided this is the time you're going to change. I got new boobs. We're going to have hair growing different places. Yes, I studied that in school, but it's here now. What am I doing with it? My appetite was like a boy's appetite, man. I could eat for days. And as I told you earlier, I have appreciative genes. So what did my body do? And at this point, my body really appreciated that my fellow girls in school would get letters. I was in a boarding school where it was an all-girls boarding school. So when my friends were getting letters from boys from an all-boys school, I'll only get a letter from my dad. Okay? And he'll be asking, do you have enough pocket money? Do you need enough? Do you have fare to come back during the break or the holiday? And that was my life. Okay? It was really nice. Now that I think of it, it was really adorable to actually still have someone to write me letters. But then as a girl who just got into high school and you have this imagination of high school, boyfriends, maybe first kiss, not so much. Not so much action there. Now, how I survived my high school years, I was always the loudest in class. Not in class, everywhere. I was just the loudest kid. I survived by making jokes, by imitating teachers. That was one of my favorites. I would go in front of the class and ask how a certain teacher taught and the funny things he does in class, and we all laugh about it. So this one time, I'm presenting my whole show. I'm right there acting how this teacher did 1, 2, 3, how he talks, and the whole class is cracking. Then it goes silent. At this point, I'm like, oh, so this is the time I have to drive my point home so we can have another bigger, appreciation of my jokes. Only for someone to show me, like, you're in trouble. And I look back, there is the teacher I was actually imitating, looking right at me. Of course, I was punished. But I do remember this one statement he told me. You are big and empty-headed. Look at what you're doing. Now imagine the 7-year-old who was told, you'll never be married because you look like this. You should look like this to do this. Your skin is too dark, and now I'm being told, I was not even getting letters from boys. And now you're telling me I am big and empty-headed. Imagine how that felt. After high school, I went to college. Now, my college years were a smooth ride, okay? I met this guy, this Nigerian guy, Oga. And every single time this guy would see me, he would just go like, oh, Mo, you don't see my babe. She just fine anyhow. Now, back to that girl who has been told all these things and carried all of them with her. Now meeting someone telling her, oh, fine gear. And he even killed me when he saved my name in his phone, Iyawo. Iyawo means my wife. And I was like, okay, maybe, just maybe. Of course, as you may have guessed or not, it ended in premium tears. But in these premium tears, as I was sitting down and crying and asking myself and wondering why can't I be loved? Why am I not enough? Why am I not good enough? I remembered something. I remembered how his face would look every time he saw me. And, in college, our hostels were like a walk to class. So he would come every morning, pick me from the hostels and walk to class. And even if I was wearing an ugly dare, he would say the same thing. Every time we would meet his friends, he would present me as if I am, oh my God. I've never had that my entire life. All I've had, you're too big, you'll never get married. You're too dark, you can't be normal. There's no you're eating good, normal food. You're probably eating charcoal. You're big and probably empty-headed. Then I remembered, so maybe, just maybe there's something in there. Maybe there's something in there. Then from that point, in between my premium tears, I started having these conversations with myself. And in these conversations that I had with myself made me realize that for many years I have been dwelling in this place of the standards that were already there, on the things that I was told I was, on what I think I should be because that's what I saw, and that's what I carried. So I sat down and packed. And I started going through everything I carried. How did it get here? How did it get this bad? How did my self-esteem get this low? How did I lose purpose in life? I started there. And after being introduced for many years by many people, by standards and many words and beliefs and whatever they believe, today for the first time, allow me to reintroduce myself in my own standards, my own values, and my own beliefs. My name is Emmyrose Wilson Rugumamu. Kukugonza, the fifth in my family, and the last one. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And before I even set foot on earth, there was a purpose attached to my life. I am of value. And in every room I walk into, I bring value. So unless you're doing the same, you have no access to me. Every single day I'm above ground is a chance for me to unveil every bit of potential that's left in me. Am I saying that I'm there yet? No. This morning we were taking a picture of all speakers and someone asked me, get out of the picture, just leave the speakers alone. And for a moment that made me feel like, maybe I don't look like a speaker. How do speakers look? Threw me off a bit, but I decided not to pick it. I left it there, and here I am. Thank you. So exactly what am I saying? It's not everything we should pick. But then, each one of you here, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way your perceptions about life influences someone whether you like it or not. I have 5 nieces and 2 nephews who now, when you tell them to take a picture now, they do. And you wonder, where did you get that from? I do that. So careful how you carry yourself, how you talk, because there's someone who is trusting you to influence who they are. I'll just want to leave you with this. Just a reminder. Among 7.7 billion people on Earth, only you can do what you do and how you do it. And that makes you a masterpiece. Thank you.